Joining us still are Concepcion, Regional Director of Earth Island Institute Philippines, and Anna Cabrera, Executive Director of PAWS. Okay. Wow, very powerful video, and this is from the Cove film. It said in the credits, it came, won the Sundance Film Festival, the film festival in 2009, and very powerful. In a nutshell, Trixie, what is the Cove all about?
It's about exposing the largest and most brutal dolphin slaughter on the planet through a documentary which stars Mr. Richard O. Barry, who is the director of Save Japan Dolphins, which is a project of the Thailand Institute.
And amazing, because Rick O. Barry, he mentioned in passing in the video, and he said that he blames himself as well for contributing to what's happening. Now, who is Rick Barry? Again, for the viewers who are just tuning in now.
Rick O. Barry, in the 1960s, he was the first trainer to catch dolphins in the wild and train them for Miami Seaquarium. He was also the first trainer to train the flipper dolphins in the famous TV series of the 1960s. So he is the one who actually started the whole industry of catching dolphins to use for entertainment. When one of the dolphins that was playing flipper, her name was Kathy, when the show was canceled, Kathy was brought back to the Miami Seaquarium, and from time to time, Rick visited her, and he can tell that she was depressed. Kathy was depressed. One time he went to her pen, and Kathy swam towards him. Kathy took one last breath, and then never took another one. So Rick said that out of her being depressed, he believes that the dolphin committed suicide. And from then on, Rick vowed to set all the dolphins free, basically undo what he did for Flipper TV series. So 40 years have passed, and until now, he's trying to set all the dolphins captive free. He's also trying to stop the largest slaughter of dolphins on the planet.
Okay. Okay. This slaughter, this video teaser we saw, from the movie, is about the slaughter in Taiji, Japan. Why does this slaughter happen in the first place? I mean, why would anyone want to kill dolphin? As we said in the first segment, dolphins are like dogs, and man's best friend. They're beautiful animals. They help people. They empathize with other creatures. They're nice to look at. Why would they want to kill these dolphins?
That's a question that was in the mind of Rick O. Barry for a very long time when he was in Japan. Later on, he learned the shocking truth because he asked some of the fishermen if they can subsidize their living. He was saying, if you can stop killing dolphins, we can probably subsidize you for not killing dolphins. But the fishermen got back to him with an answer saying, no, we need to kill the dolphins because we're doing sort of like a pest control. What do you mean by pest control? The fisherman said, well, the dolphins eat like 25 kilos of fish in a day. They're the ones disseminating the fisheries in Japan, so we have to control their population. Of course, no self-respecting biologist or scientist will believe this, but this is what the Japanese fishermen believe, that they are trying to restore the fisheries of Japan by killing off the dolphins who are eating this
How crazy is Anna? How crazy is this, huh?
Yeah, so upsetting. It just shows us that education is really at the very heart of the advocacy that we do. When people do not know about the true nature of animals and the setup in the environment and how species are essential to, like, their cornerstone species, if you take that out, then it wreaks havoc on the entire ecosystem. If you don't know that, then you tend to make a lot of mistakes. And even in the dog and cat protection area, we know that most of the cruelties committed are not deliberate cruelties, but born out of an ignorance about the true nature of animals. And so, while animals are voiceless, they can actually tell us many things if we listen close enough, and if we read enough, and if we look to our scientists and documentation, and it's all there.
What's shocking about this is it's happening in Japan. In Japan, okay, number one, first world nation, very advanced. Their educational system is very good, and Japanese people are known to be animal lovers. So the mere fact that this is happening in Japan and I can't seem to reconcile the two. I mean, if this were happening in, you know, with due respect to my African friends, if this were happening to somewhere in Africa, maybe I would say, okay, you know, education, awareness, okay, fine, maybe it's a bit low, but Japan, how can this happen in Japan?
There's, well, we also want to find out, but according to it, there's like a cultural dimension to it, where they will not necessarily, Japanese people will not necessarily openly voice out opposition to another Japanese person's, you know, culture or another person's lifestyle. So if you notice, we are slowly but surely getting some Japanese activists on the ground, but it's not really in their culture.
What we're looking at now is footage from the actual dolphin slaughter, or it's called dry fishery, I think, which happens in Taiji. Now, what happens here, Trixie, if you can annotate for us? What exactly happens? How do they capture the dolphins? How do they kill the dolphins?
Well, dolphins are very acoustic creatures. They rely very much on sound to navigate the open oceans. And the Japanese fishermen know this, and this is what they exploit. So they have their boats come out in the sea.
Here we can see it,
Yeah,
the
that's
boats,
right.
and you can see a whole bunch of, like a herd or
Dolphins.
you call it a herd? Is it called
Yeah,
a herd?
herd.
Herd
It's
of
called,
dolphins.
it's called
And
a herd.
this is a cove here.
That's right.
Okay.
When they're out in the sea, they line up the boats, and they bang on, they have a metal prod.
Yeah. There, here we can see some people doing some, oh no, this is a
Yeah.
ceremony, okay? And
The-
what happens then?
There's a metal stick that's from the boat, it's stuck in this bottom
Okay,
of the boat.
okay.
And they bang on these metal sticks.
To drive the dolphins
To
in the direction of the cove.
Yeah.
And I can see that there are nets as well.
Once the dolphins are driven in the cove, they line the nets to
Okay.
prevent the dolphins
Wow.
from escaping.
Look at that.
Yeah, and they can trap as much as hundreds of animals in one day.
Okay.
But yeah, and then they leave the animals for a while, supposedly to let the dolphins relax. But they slaughter them the very next day after the dolphin show industry chooses the nicer animals. So after they've segregated the nicer looking animals for marine parks, that's when they kill the rest of the animals that are not chosen from.
So the herding happens one day,
Yes.
and the actual slaughter happens the next day. And I assume that one of the reasons for this is, aside from the fatigue on the part of the fishermen, it's also meant to make sure that dolphins are weakened, because you know, if they're corralled in a shallow portion with many of them having to share a very confined space, they're very stressed,
Yes.
they're very tired, right? And henceforth the next day they would be unable to resist when the actual slaughtering happens. So what happens? I mean, so the next day the fishermen come back and they just go and they butcher the dolphin.
Yeah, they stab wherever they can. They usually say they will stab at the back of the blowhole so that there will be instant death. But the observations from the cove is that it takes minutes for an animal to die that way. And if you've seen the footage from the cove, you can see Japanese fishermen just stabbing away anywhere, all the time.
And the water turns red with blood. And it's an awful, awful sight to see. Like the blood literally turning blue water into red.
You don't see any kind of regulation. You don't see any kind of control. There's no humaneness in the way they kill the animals.
You know, Trixie, when you first started the second cycle, I asked you why did they kill the dolphins, and I don't know. You how do you answer that? And do they kill them for the meat? Do they eat the meat? Is it because they put the meat in restaurants? I mean, why kill them? For fun?
Well, the hunts happen actually because of aquariums. The aquariums that feature dolphin shows, they forward money. They give money in advance to the fishermen so they can buy gasoline so they can do the hunts. When they've already captured the animals, they've already herded them to the cove, the aquariums will choose the nicer animals for their marine parks, for their theme parks, and the rest will just be slaughtered by the Japanese fishermen because they think, oh, the rest of this will be competition for fish. These are pests of the sea. So we kill them and we will sell their meat to the grocery stores of Japan.
Based on the video that we saw, it looks like it is like a tradition. There's a ceremony, there's a ritual that goes into this. You know, I mean, it all looks very traditional. And I assume that this thing has been going on before the first oceanariums came about. So there is a cultural component to this. Now, what is the basis for the cultural component?
They say many hundreds of years ago,
Yeah.
of course, the Japanese people with their paddle boats would come out, probably catch 1 or 2 dolphins. But it's not a dominant culture for the rest of the people in Japan. It does happen. In the Philippines, in the past, it also happens. But what they had then were probably paddle boats. There were no mechanized, faster going boats. So if they would kill dolphins hundreds of years ago, it would probably be a few species, not enough to put the population at risk. But now you have more mechanized boats, faster running boats, you have technology.
Definitely unfair advantage that the humans have.
Yeah, and you can kill them en masse if you so want to, since you have all of this technology.
Now, Trixie, I understand that September 1st marked the beginning of this season, this dolphin slaughtering season. Why September 1st, and how long does it last?
Well, September 1st is marked as the start of the dolphin hunting season in Japan, because it is a time where some dolphins from other areas migrate near the coast of Japan. And this is a time where the Japanese fishermen can actually go out and then herd them when they're transiting through Japan. So this is the start of the dolphin hunting season. It lasts from September until March, but we're very happy to report that since the start of the dolphin hunting season, this September 1, no whales have been killed so far.
Whales.
Whales and dolphins, small whales and dolphins,
Since the start.
since the start.
They
So,
failed to bring them into the cove, is that it?
because of bad weather now in Taiji, our friends and volunteers on the ground in Taiji are reporting that as of September 4, no dolphins and small whales have been killed in Taiji, Japan because of bad weather.
Well, thank God for bad weather. This is one of those times that you're glad it's there.
That's right.
Now, okay, what is being done? I mean, obviously, something like this has sparked an immense amount of outrage all over the world, including in Japan. And in fact, they showed on the air earlier in the video that some people were showing ordinary Japanese photos and videos of what was going on, and obviously these Japanese everyday man, everyday woman was kind of shocked.